Katrina Potter, and I'm going to share with you a little bit about why I'm so passionate about doTERRA's business model. I got started building a business with doTERRA in 2014, and at the time, my husband and I were homeowners. We did not yet have children, we weren't yet married. And what came up for me at that stage of my life was this model of residual income. When I was first introduced to doTERRA, I was working full time as a pediatric speech language pathologist, and my cash flow was generated based off of dollars for hours trade off. So if I did not work, I did not receive compensation. And when I was in that stage of my life, I was coming out of grad school. I had a lot of grad school debt, and I was very interested in paying that debt down as fast as possible. So what at that point in my life I had done was trade more time to make more money. And so I was working almost double a full-time caseload, picking up per diem at a skilled nursing facility, just trying to bring in as much income as possible to speed up that debt payoff. Well, when I was introduced to doTERRA, it was the first time that I had lifted the lid on what was possible. Someone talked to me about this concept of residual income and the concept of making money without having to trade dollars for hours. And for me, it was this weight that was lifted, like, oh, I don't have to work double a full-time caseload. I don't have to exhaust my body to pay off this debt. What is this like? And so it navigated me in this path of exploring what that life could feel like. Well, then fast forward when my daughter, so I chose to do that as a business. 2 years later, my first daughter was born. And that was when I chose to dive in with doTERRA full time. It's been that way ever since, haven't looked back. What was created from that shift was this flexibility. So my income was the same as what I was making over here as a speech pathologist, but now I had this flexibility. Well, fast forward, now I homeschool. And so what has also been afforded to me with this business model is to create flexibility in our schedule. So I'm able to do a little bit more homeschooling over here if I have some work stuff over here, or if my husband has to work more over here, I'm able to have flexibility and still be able to feel like I'm pursuing my passions while also being able to homeschool, which I'm passionate about, while also being able to create this life of freedom that we're going for, and focusing on creating even more. And so what I love about what I'm sharing, my focus and what I'm sharing and my intention behind it is this business has been able to mold into the different stages of life. When I first started, it was building this doTERRA business outside of my traditional full-time job. Then it became my full-time job. Then it became being able to flexibly, having the flexibility to tweak it around our homeschool schedule, around our life schedule. And so for me, this business offers financial freedom where I'm not trading dollars for hours any longer, and also has allowed time flexibility where I can show up each day and focus on what I want to achieve that day or where I want to focus my energy. And I think for me, this model of business is the way of the future for women. I think it's the way that we can allow ourselves to have the lifestyle that we want and still be able to have our passion projects and still be able to earn a high income off of doing something that we love while being able to juggle all of the different avenues. So I'm very passionate about this business. It's offered so much for our family. I feel like it just keeps lifting the lid as far as what's available to us. I feel like each year I'm like, oh, what about this now? Like it just keeps growing with us. So I'm excited for you to be in this initial chapter where you're learning about what could be. Like the lid is starting to get lifted, which I think is so exciting. And we all, I'm speaking for all of us that are a part of this team, we all invite you to come and learn more. It can be designed to whatever stage of a business you want it to be. And we just welcome you with open arms to learn even more. Thanks for listening. We'll talk soon.